Right, I'd like to welcome you guys today to this lesson. This is lesson 3, or lecture 3 of unit 4, leadership management, okay? And this is recapping from previous lesson. Previous lesson means a lesson we did just before now, yeah?
Yeah. And
in that lesson, we saw two situations. We looked at the classical theorists, which included Fayol's administrative, scientific by Taylor, and management as a function of organization by Handy. We also looked at modern management theorists by Porter, Kotler, and Handy. Okay? So looking at classical theory, you'll recall, we talked about classical theorists. That means the way in which leaders and managers manage organizations from the previous ages up till now to an extent, right? And then the modern management is, if you like, the improvement or the perceived improvement on the way we manage, okay? So classical management still happens today, but then modern management also has some sort of human face on the management. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So today's lesson, therefore, but are you quite happy with this? Do you have any question on what we covered last week?
No.
You're all happy with the difference between classical and modern, right? Okay, good. So then today, this lesson will explore various leadership theories and their impact on organizations' effectiveness. This includes transactional, transformational, contingency, situational, charismatic, and emotional intelligence leadership theories. So these are different types of theories, including what we've learned last week, okay? And so managers will need to apply any of this in the way they manage and lead organizations, okay? And they are the key theories, okay? So we're going to look at them one by one to understand further what it means, and also the key features, what is peculiar about the different types of leadership styles, okay? Is that okay?
Yes.
So, looking at transformational leadership, this was profiled by James McGregor Burns. He introduced transformational leadership, which is about inspiring followers. When you say followers, means workers, executioners, okay? The teams. It is about inspiring teams or employees to go beyond their own interest, okay, for the good of the organization. So you come to an organization, you're working there, and you put in your best, okay, forgetting about your own self-interest, which may be money or whatever, but then you put extra effort for the good and benefit of the organization. So that is what is called transformational. So a leader that makes their workers see the business beyond just a business, okay? See themselves, see their future in that business, that they can grow in that business from where they started to what they can become, okay? So leaders create significant change by transforming the belief and the behavior and the motivation of their workers, of teams, okay? The key features of transformational leadership is about being visionary. A manager that's visionary is a manager that would, or a leader that will create and communicate compelling vision, letting the staff see where the business is going. Not just about coming work and go home, come work, go home, take orders, but looking at the future of that business and driving everybody and the staff into that vision, okay, into long term. It could equally be something like, if you work with us for the next 3 to 5 years, we will give you 1% of profit. an employee will put extra effort, isn't it? They will no longer become an employee. They think forward that in the future, I will have a stake from this business. Therefore, becoming feeling ownership of that business, right? And so they will put in more effort. So this is what is referred to as a transformational leadership style. Okay, we also have inspiration, intellectual stimulation, and personal considerations. All of these are ways in which a transformational leader can transform. For example, Elon Musk. We all know about Elon Musk at Tesla and SpaceX. He motivates his team, okay, with an ambitious vision for the space exploration and sustainable energy. Yeah? So the way Elon Musk operates is an example of a transformational, okay? So long as you can showcase what you're capable of doing, you can take people from the streets. So long as you can, show what you can do, he can give you the opportunity to innovate, to grow your idea.
Explore.
Sorry?
To explore.
To explore your idea, okay? So such a leader is referred to as being using transformational qualities. Is that clear enough?
Yes.
Now, this question here, what is the key feature of transformational leadership? What are the key features?
Visionary, inspirational, intellectual stimulation.
Well done, well done. Okay? Visionary leadership that inspires and motivates employee. Okay?
Yes.
Is that clear enough?
Yeah, perfect.
So next we have what is called transactional. Transactional leadership came from Warren and Bernard. This focuses on the exchange between the leaders and the followers or workers. Leaders provide reward for performance and enforce penalty for underperformance. It is more a structured, directive approach to work in a well-established environment. So for example, it's a transactional. That means like when you go haggling in the market, you give money and you get something. So that sort of way of working, a leader that will set a target and guide you towards that target, achieving that target, and, by giving you a reward at the end of the day, promising you a reward, as well as making you know that if you don't reach that target, there could be, there could be repercussion, right?
Yeah.
So that way of working is maybe good in some area, but that's called transactional. Okay? Exactly on that. There are two features on that. They refer to as contingency reward and leadership management by exception. So contingency reward sets clear goal and provide reward. Okay? Management by exception is by intervening, giving workers the opportunity to carry on working on their own accord, innovating and putting their own mind and intuition to it. And will only intervene when there is something wrong. So giving the workers free hand to explore, okay? To apply their skills. For example, a sales manager who sets clear quotas and provides bonuses for meeting the targets while withholding rewards from underperformance. Okay? So I'm just trying to make you understand the difference. So each of the methods or leadership styles that I mentioned, try to remember and understand the difference, okay? Is that clear enough? Look at this case study scenario. In a manufacturing firm, managers reward teams based on output quality and penalize them for defects. While initially effective, employees became less motivated over time because they were only working for reward. So that's a snag, isn't it? That's a disadvantage of transactional. Because after a while, if people know that if I do this, you give me this, I do this, you give me this, or after a while, it becomes monotonous. They might begin to question, this reward, is it really worth my while? How you mean? So the idea is to not use it or overuse it, but to vary it and to interchange it as best as and when you can. All right. Then we have Fiedler's contingency theory. Fiedler's contingency theory suggests that there are no single best way of leading. Okay, that leaders should use the best out of their arsenal. Okay, you have an arsenal, a very many different types of experiences in leadership, and that is best that the managers use what is best in a given situation, rather than using one size fits all, one method fits all. Instead, you use the leadership styles depending on the situation. That's what Fiedler is pinpointing there. And that he likened to task-oriented and relationship-oriented. And if you recall, we talked about this last week already, about looking at task-oriented. Task-oriented is, more like task culture. If you remember task culture, where people, are given tasks to do, and so it's about the result from that activity that matters in a kind of a structured way. They're given what to do, an instruction, and you carry it. But at the same time, while using task-oriented, you should apply relationship-oriented. That means.
What is the meaning of contingency?
Contingency.
Yeah.
Okay. In English language, contingency can be said to be, if you like, a fallback method, maybe a backup, maybe a backup,
Maybe
an option.
like in a sense, it's a backup. It's
Yeah,
not,
more like a backup.
It's not like fallback, or it's just a backup.
A backup, like Plan B.
All right.
That is what it means in English, in systems. Yeah. However, it's been used here as alternatives. A contingency is based on the situation you apply, so it's called a contingency. Something that you can, it's like a workaround, doing something. Okay, you can get to here from there, or you can use this way to get there.
Or you can jump.
You can jump. That's right.
Yeah.
So that's a contingency, which you can do at different times. Okay. So the key principles: the effectiveness of leadership depends on the situation and context. Okay, including leader follow, relationship, task structure, and position power. All of these are various ways of carrying out the activity. Example, a construction project manager may be task-oriented, okay, when working with on a tight deadline, but shifts to relationship-oriented when managing a team conflict. So it's about using them at different times. You can be working, using your task-oriented. People know what they need to do, they know the target, they're working on it, but at the same time, the teams may have conflicts. So he or she would obviously switch to relationship, trying to repair the conflict, to correct the conflict. So it's about applying those type of human face, into how we carry out our duties. Okay, how we manage and how we lead. Is that clear enough on this? Let's have a question. According to Fiedler, what two factors determine the best leadership style?
Task-oriented and relationship-oriented.
Well done for that. So it's all glaring, they're all there. Task-oriented and relationship-oriented. Well done for that. Next, we look at situational leadership by these guys here, all right? They suggest that leadership style should change based on the situation or the maturity and readiness of the followers. This theory was developed by Paul Hesse, as you can see, and then improved upon by Victor and Philip. And these are three of them: directive leadership, supportive leadership, and participative leadership. What they're talking about here is that In an organization where you have new starters, maybe beginners, novices, newcomers in the business, maybe the best way to lead and guide them is to be more directive, to give them instructions and direct them on how to do it because they're new. So you need to learn how to do it. Or put them in a team where one of the team leaders will guide them. So that's called instructional or directive. Okay? Then supportive is sometimes you have a worker who may be very knowledgeable and skilled, but you cannot get them to sit down to do the work. They're either smoking, they want to go and smoke, they're either fidgeting, they're walking around, they don't meet targets because of their attitude, their personality. Okay, but when you give them a job, they can do it very well. Such an employee, instead of sacking them or giving them queries, you try and support them. Find out why they are behaving the way they're behaving. And so as a manager, you guide them towards that. So that's called supportive leadership. And that's what situation, based on the situation, you apply the best. And then the third one is about participative. Participative is where you use workers who are already very skilled and knowledgeable. Okay, you probably let them carry on with little or no supervision because they can work even without your supervision. Sometimes you can even make them team leaders. You can let them make decisions for themselves on behalf of the team, for example. Yeah. So these are the different types. So these are how you can treat different categories of employees. New employees use instructional or directive. Okay, leadership. Workers who are good but are unable to sit down in one place, and do the work. You need to support them. Find out what is making them not being consistent and participative. Okay. Sometimes participative can also mean you, as a leader, rolling your sleeve and taking part in the job itself. Example: a new employee might need more directive. Okay, with the manager giving clear instructions, or a senior employee, on the other hand, will benefit from participative, where they are given allowed to make decisions. All right. Look at this scenario here. A team leader uses directive for new hires and transition to participative as time progresses, as they gain more confidence. What style is appropriate for that? Participative. Very, very well. Well done for that. Okay? So that's what it is, okay? Thank you for that. All right, I'm going to skip this, but this is just a pictorial representation of the, of situational, okay? So where you look at the decision model must be made by considering a variety of them. In consideration, you have decision quality, subordinate committee, and time constraint, and then you break them down in that format, okay, up until you get impact on the success, or you create a timeline on that, okay? So next we look at charismatic leadership.
Yeah, like you.
Like what?
Like you.
Like who?
Like you.
Oh, me? Do I have charisma?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Why do you think I have charisma?
No, yeah, because you got more knowledge, so that's what I believe.
I've got more what?
More knowledge.
Well, thank you for that. Okay, so basically, like you said, a charismatic leader is one that is liked. You like them just seeing their appearance. They have an innate command, a quality. And when they have the knowledge of the job, it even adds on to it. People see them, respect them, and believe them. And they can lead quite okay. So using their charm.
Also depends how he delivers those.
That's right.
knowledges.
That's right. Depend on how he delivers as well, the way he delivers. So, because they have confidence, they deliver very well. They have a charm. They have you heard of what is called the gift of the gap? Gift of the gap. Yeah. Somebody you just see them, you like them,
Yeah.
and they become leaders. Okay, that's what it is. Okay. So such leaders are seen as transformational, but more focused on personal charisma and appeal. They have quite a variety of features. Vision, the charismatic leader provides clear and compelling vision for the future. They can communicate very well, showing the vision and the way, and inspire and motivate teams. Then they're also very confident. They know the job, and they show extreme confidence in that, in their abilities. So, for example, Steve Jobs is an example of a charismatic leader.
Yeah.
You all know Steve Jobs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
iPhone.
Good, Apple, good. Okay, he was known for his charismatic leadership at Apple. He inspired employees and customers alike with his vision in technological innovation, and that's why today you can see iPhone is almost very superior among other ones, right? Because of that, his technological vision. Yeah. Before him, we didn't know all this, isn't it? But today, everybody is copying. Almost all phones are copying iPhone from, isn't it? There you go. All right. So, what question? The answer is there anyway. All right. So I'm just going to move on, right?
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Martin.
How many of you know who this picture?
Yeah, Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King. What's about him?
He was
A freedom fighter?
for black community in USA.
In America, that's correct. Okay, so he was that type that is an orator, able to convince people to see his vision. Like Nelson Mandela, good. Yeah, another kind of a vision as well. Well done for that. Okay, so they influence followers. They have the ability to influence their followers. So in a team, when you have such persons, the team will work well following his or her vision. If you have a manager or a leader who's like that, people would be inspired. Okay? And so they inspire, they are trusted because they are very honest, they're authentic, and they're consistent. Okay? And they have a way to motivate. Okay? They also can perform as transformational leaders. Okay? They use that, charisma that they have and the knowledge and vision to influence workers to behave, in a certain way, which we hope is going to be good. All right? Well done for that. We also have what is called emotional leadership. Emotional leadership is also another type of leadership which Daniel Profad introduced the concept of that with the 6 emotional leadership style. So emotional leadership has 6, as you can see, 1 to 6 methods, 6 situations. He says you apply this emotional leadership based on situation. For example, 1, you can coercive, demand compliance. How do you demand? How do you coerce? How do you convince somebody to do X, Y? So you should have the power to convince, to coerce. You can also be authoritative at some point. Coercive means to persuade. Yeah? To persuade, yeah. In a certain way, okay? Like how, it's more like persuasion and, conning. Applying both together. Sometimes you can be cunning in a bad way, or you can be cunning in a good way, right?
Yeah.
So when you apply your cunning in a good way, you can persuade somebody. Let them see the brighter side of things. Be optimistic.
Yeah.
All right, that's coercive. Authoritative, where you can mobilize people towards a vision. Okay, so they are able to wear different hats. Emotional, they're able to read their audience, their team, and they can apply certain type of authority. They can also use affiliative, creating harmony and build emotional bond. Okay? democratic, forge consensus through participation, pace setting, set high standards for performance, okay, and coaching develops people for the future. Now, applying some of this, as you can see, let me use an example. A team leader may use affiliative style to create a supportive environment after a team failure, but switches to a pace-setting style to push for higher performance. As a leader, we know that sometimes we get it wrong, yeah? So when somebody gets, when your team gets something wrong, don't just scold them and insult them, but instead, tell them that's not the end of the world, that we can do better next time. Are you with me?
Yeah.
And so the team feels supported. So that's called affiliative. You affiliate, make them feel that they have not, there's nothing like failure, but you can try again next time.
Yeah.
So that is how you can persuade somebody. Because if somebody gets it wrong, you're not happy, isn't it? But somebody now guides you to see that you can do better next time. Okay? So that's one way of leading your team. Another way of leading your team is pace setting, where they've done very well, and you say that we can do better than this. You still drag them forward, okay? That is a way in which setting a new bar for them, all right? Because they've done very well, you say, oh, that means you can even do better, and just raise the bar a bit high.
There's always place for better.
That's right. So these are ways in which you can apply some of this referred to as emotional leadership. Okay. Is that clear? Another scenario, a manager uses affiliative style after the team experiences burnout, providing emotional support and creating a stress-free environment to help them recover. Yeah, you have, so go on.
Coaching?
Coaching? How do you apply coaching? Is that your question?
No,
it's
she
the
says
answer, no?
about the answer.
I mean, this one? Okay. I'm here, you're there.
Sorry.
I'm not quite sure what the answer is going to be, but let's look at it. Which emotional leadership is best for building? That's number 3, isn't it?
Oh,
Yeah?
Yeah.
yeah.
How you mean? Yeah. So, but you know what burnout means?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
when you burn out, you're
Down.
tired, you
That's
feel
right.
like you feel like
Yeah.
I can't do it, so something
Yeah.
like that.
So, in a situation where you can apply affiliative, where they experience burnout, and then you can also create, using emotional support to get them a stress-free environment. Maybe bring water. Maybe they're doing a task for a long time. You can either give them breaks. You can give them coffee, free coffees. Yeah. Sometimes when you work hard, then your managers will say, okay, let's have a meeting every Friday. On that Friday, they bring McDonald's or bring coffee for everybody. Something to make you feel rewarded. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Without spelling it out.
And when are we getting coffees?
Yeah. All right.
When are we getting coffees?
When you get, I thought you already had one.
No, but I'm talking about
Now. because I feel burnout, so
You're born already.
yeah, I need coffee.
So
We need
okay.
motivation.
No, what to motivate you? I could just say take 5 minutes break. Do you smoke? All right. Well, I'll say go have a cigarette and come back. Or you can stand up. Sometimes you want to stand up, want to walk around.
Stretch.
5 minutes break. All these are ways in which you can emotionally, lead without spelling it out. Okay? Is that clear so far?
Yes.
Can I take a permission to carry on?
Yes.
All right. There we go. All right. So you already have that answered already, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so these are just in addition to those 6. Commanding, another name for them. Okay, commanding means directive or coercive. Just giving it in some authors, some books, you find different names for the same thing, like synonymous, right? So commanding means directive and coercive. Affiliative is, you already know. Democratic, you already saw, is about participative. Coaching, you saw already. Visionary, you also saw as well, okay? And then pace setting is quite good. So these are just the methods. So look at this diagram. It gives you an idea of what is referred to as emotional leadership. A leader that uses emotions because they're dealing with human beings, all right? Yet being firm to get the job done according to organization's expectations, okay, or goals. Is that clear enough?
Yes.
Okay, now we look at influence of leadership on followers or on workers. Effective leaders can profoundly influence their followers by 1, 2, 3. Yeah? By inspiration, trust, maintaining trust, being consistent, motivation. For example, charismatic and transformational leaders such as Nelson Mandela, like you mentioned over there, inspire followers to achieve extraordinary things through their vision, passion, and integrity. Yeah? Is that clear on that?
Yes.
So these are ways in which, if you know Mandela and know what he did, you know Mandela.
Yeah.
What happened to him?
He's died.
He died afterwards, yeah?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but he was the president of
Yeah.
South Africa. Yeah?
before he became president, what was he?
It
He
was
was
in Chile
imprisoned about
For how long?
for many years.
about 30 something.
27 years and all that, yeah?
Yeah.
And he came out, and what happened when he came out? When he came out was when the apartheid was subsided, and now blacks have equal or more rights in South Africa, right?
Yeah.
And then he became the president. What would somebody in his position, other people in his position, do to the whites? They'll probably, take revenge. They'll probably, drag them back to their countries or like that.
Yeah.
But instead, what did he do? He says, he forgave everybody and said that we can move forward. So he became more of a, he has more,
Yeah, he shows his
passion
going
and
back
integrity.
Integrity.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
even though he went in for 27 years, it's not the end of the world for him.
Yeah.
So he was an individual that we respect for just that act,
Yes.
okay? And so there was more peace in the world in that area, okay, in that part of the continent, and people see him as a
Leader.
leader, an influential leader, okay? Now let's look at, and also a charismatic one for that as well, isn't it? So let's look at that, okay? How do charismatic leaders build trust among their followers?
But below.
Inspiration, motive.
All right, by being authentic
Yeah.
and consistent,
Yeah.
okay, in their behavior and how they communicate. All right, and people believe them and trust them, right? So, in as much as we have seen all of these various methods of leadership, we say that there are some challenges as well to applying them in practice. What could be those challenges?
Yeah, cultural differences, rapid changes.
Yeah, all of this can be, so cultural differences can affect it. Okay?
Yeah.
So, in as much as we want to, the challenges of leadership. Yeah, what happens on Fridays by 1 p.m.?
Friday prayer
Friday prayer for who?
for Muslims.
For Muslims. Yeah? So, if you're a leader and you're meeting target, and you have to maybe assume by Friday evening, by Friday 5 o'clock, and your team have 1 or 2 Muslims in there, would you let them go for prayer, or would you say, no, you can't go on prayer, I'm on deadline, It can happen in some places, isn't it?
Yeah.
But what we're saying here is the challenges that even though you want to achieve the company organization, the company goal on this occasion, but you may not, and so you need to maybe quickly begin to think about how can I, work around this? What's the contingency?
Yeah.
You can either volunteer to, if it's one person, you are the manager, you can volunteer to work on their behalf while they go for the prayer, or you can get somebody to, take his place. So all these are ways in which you can manage cultural differences. Yeah? But there are many others as well, isn't it? Even things like time zone, because right now in America it's 5 hours, people just waking up, something like that. Yeah, you may. And so if you're working in such an environment in a multinational organization, management, you're going to have to face all these challenges.
Yeah.
All right. Rapid change must be, you must have a way of adapting to rapid change. Rapid change can come from a worker phoning in the morning and say they can't come in. Let's take mothers for example. You know, my child have an appointment, or I have an appointment, doctor's appointment, or you have the dentist appointment and you cannot come in. So these are challenges that managers need to manage with. So you need to quickly be able to adjust the pattern of work that day so that to accommodate this rapid situation which was not foreseen. Okay? And lastly, employee resistance. Employees resist certain leadership styles as well, especially when they feel micromanaged. Okay, what is something micromanaged? Anybody?
Macro
Micromanaged or micromanagement.
is micromanagement. Macro.
Yeah, what does it mean?
Micro.
I'm trying to explain resistance. Yeah, sometimes you could resist, you know, what about trade unions? People, you know, maybe they want to pay rise or something like that. They just resist working. Maybe they used to work these hours and they say, okay, we're going to now start doing shifts. People are not going to just bend over and follow shift with them. No. It could be an issue. And so it gets managed. So employee will resist any change that doesn't favor them.
Yeah.
So you need to convince them for the urgency to see how important it is and how you can, you know, go around it. So all that in last week's lecture we saw, you know, change management and how we dealt with the 8 steps, isn't it, that we saw from. Was he handy? Yeah. For example, a company trying to apply transitional leadership in a creative industry might struggle because employees in creative field value autonomy over social reward. Do you understand that? Now, creative industry, more like IT programmers, people that work from home, who work autonomously, independently, they value that way of working than the one you would say, I should come in and I will give you X reward if you do this. They probably, you know,
they don't follow that.
they don't follow that. So that could be an issue and that needs to be managed as well. Okay? So there are different ways and different things and times when management needs to, and leaders need to adapt. They will face challenges and they need to, you know, overcome it somehow. Okay, how they do it is obviously by experience, applying experience, and a way of dealing with conflicts and dealing with, you know, with persons. How, you know, they carry out their change management. Okay. So, can you answer that question? What are some challenges leaders face when applying transformational leadership? What challenges?
Those ones on the cultural.
They may resist, okay? When you're trying to transform leaders, trying to move from way of working now to a new way of working, even if it's a plus on the, you know, a plus and a gain by the employee, they may not necessarily like it. For example, you used to work 9 to 5, and for some reason, you're not going to start doing shifts. Not everybody will welcome shifts, would they? Some people are not going to be able to do shifts. Yeah? For various reasons. And so that has been managed. Okay? And so they need to be able to provide some sort of support and a vision for why that is the case. Yeah? Let's look at this case study. Applying leadership theories in practice. Look at that scenario and try and see if you can answer that in your groups as you are. Okay? A manufacturing company uses scientific management principles to increase productivity and finds that workers are becoming demotivated. The management adopts Handy's more collaborative and employee-centric approach to improve job satisfaction. How did the management's initial focus on transactional leadership affect the workers? Okay, you can think about that on this side, and on this side you can think about the second bullet point. What leadership style could have been more effective in this scenario? Yeah. Do you understand the question very well?
Try to one more time.
Using scientific management principles to increase productivity, we find that workers are becoming demotivated. Okay, it could be the reward. It could be the reward. So let me just give you about 2 minutes to do that. Think about yourself, yeah? And then the solution could be what leadership styles could have been more effective. Yeah?
Yeah, one of them could be the rewards for them, for the workers. You know what the management will gonna offer in order to make workers motivated again
Yeah.
to achieve their task.
Okay, yeah, I could accept that. Yeah, so.
So they can make a scheme, reward scheme for the employees.
Yeah.
Or they can come with some new benefits which they don't have it already.
Yeah, very, very, very
Yeah.
true. Something new.
Yeah.
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 The variety.
Yeah.
Spices. Because if you focus on just one way of doing it, okay, you do this and I'll give you this.
Yeah.
After a while,
They get used with it. It's not
they get used to it and it's no longer, meaningful to them.
Yeah.
Very true. So you try something new. Try another type of benefit. Yeah. Very well. That's what you're gonna do.
Reward.
So that's what caused that, isn't it? And then, what other style could they use? What other style could they use to?
Transactional leadership, no?
Maybe transformational?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's look at a possible answer anyway. Okay. So the rigid way was obviously led to demotivation. Then transformational or solutional could improve that, isn't it? Where employees are now motivated, okay, and they are viewed as individuals' needs, okay. So they apply human face. What you call in education, you call it differentiation. Not seeing them equally, not seeing everybody, even though we're all equal, but we are not equal in the way we approach. So as the manager or the leader, you treat them because of their peculiarities.
Yes.
Okay? Not one style fits all. But you apply the style, you see them as individuals and apply that to them. So that way everybody will be happy and they will do their best. Okay? And be more productive. Ultimately, the company will achieve more profit. Okay? Is that clear on that?
Yeah.
So here we're finishing this now. So let's conclude. In this session, we covered multiple variety of leadership theories and how they influence organizational effectiveness. Leaders must adapt their style to the situation, employee need, and organizational goal. So in effect, as a leader or manager, you have to do three things. The most important one is what? Well, not the most important, but one of the main goal is the business. The company goal that you are managing will be one of your focus. At the same time, you need to look at every employee is different. They come with different needs. So you need to manage that as well. And of course, the situation that you find yourself in. So you're doing three things as a leader or manager in a given setup. Is that okay?
Yes.
So that's what we have learned, that we have learned the different leadership. So you can apply, when you live here now and become qualified, you will have in your arsenal, lots of different styles. And so when you find yourself in a managerial position or leadership position, you can choose which one should I use, okay? Even right now, some of you may be managers or you are an employee, you can visualize how your manager manages you guys at your workplace. Do you think they're charismatic, or they're visionary, or they're participative? What type of leader are they? Or if it's you're a manager yourself, what type of manager are you? Have you learned something from this? Can you go and adapt what you've learned? That is the idea of it today, okay?
Yeah.
I'm gonna adapt now when I go home with my wife.
You know,
So
that's good.
since now I've been transactional, from now on I'm going to be transformational.
Yeah, that's better. You can mix and match depending on it,
Something
okay?
more in the relationship.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's good. So last question will be, what is the main difference between these two then?
Transactional, when you have already you offer something and you get something back.
That's this one.
Yeah, and the transformational when you come with something new in.
Yeah. Okay, that's in a nutshell. I think you're correct in a nutshell. Good. Model answer. Certainly leadership inspires change and innovation.
Yeah.
Okay, from this to that. Okay, from one way of working, a vision to how we can become. All right, giving workers the opportunity to innovate, think for themselves. Okay, and participate, make decisions, and gain at the end of the day. Transactional leadership focuses on a structure of exchange of rewards for performance. Yeah,
Yeah.
more like sales team and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you happy with this?
Yes.
Have you got a question for me?
No.
Please, your reference books, as usual. Find this and carry on, you can also use your internet as well. But just try and see if you can get one or two of these books, okay, to give you more knowledge. Because all I've done on this lesson is just highlighted and, giving you a flavor of it, okay?
Yeah.
But the more you go into look at some books, they are available in Amazon, for example, you study more, especially in your own area of if you're a manager already, you're going to be a manager, you try to study more, research more, and all of that, okay? These are just some examples. Okay, thank you very much for attending, participating. Do you have any questions? I will answer them before you go. No questions?
The only question is, we can go.
If you can go. Yeah, you can go. If you need to find me, you can find me there. All right? And you also have my Padlet wall. So thanks for coming, okay? God bless.
Thank you.
Bye for now. Bye. Okay.
Well, we got telephone.